I think I'm a part of history, so shit, I'll take it. Obviously, it's a good.
Kelsey Mitchell has always been a name recognized in Indiana Fever circles. It's a bucket getter, a franchise pillar, someone who could light up the scoreboard. But lately, that name has been making headlines for all the wrong reasons. The situation is no longer just uncomfortably spiraling. It's getting worse by the hour. And the reason? Not her game, not her coaching staff, not even a rival player. It's her own family. It all started with a Facebook post one that ignited the powder. Keg of emotions festering beneath the surface. And the person who lit the fuse wasn't some anonymous troll. It was her twin sister, Kelsey Mitchell. Former D1 hooper herself. A woman who knows the game, who knows what words can do, especially when they're aimed at someone as publicly polarizing as Caitlin Clark. Kelsey commented in agreement.
In front of a sold-out crowd of 17,000 people, and that's not ever something you take for granted. The crowd that...
With a post that claimed Caitlin was overrated, that she couldn't win without Kelsey and Aaliyah Boston carrying the load. The exact words seared into the minds of fans were these. These two players can win some games without Clark, but Clark can't win a single game without them. It was a shot fired in broad daylight. Once the dust settled, Kelsey Mitchell wasn't just a bystander. She was ground zero. Kelsey didn't just agree, she doubled down. She wrote, "I got to agree," making it clear that this wasn't a fluke or a misunderstanding. And when the backlash came hard, when fans started questioning her intent, Kelsey vanished, deleting her Twitter account entirely. But it was already too late. The internet never forgets. Screenshots were everywhere. The outrage was building. This wasn't just a one-off comment. The Mitchell family kept going. More relatives, more friends, liking and reposting anti-Caitlin content.
I'm pretty sure our organization can feed off of it, our, state of Indiana. So I think for us, we want you to.
One friend even compared Clark to Antonio Brown. Yes, that Antonio Brown, the same one, known more for controversy than achievement. It went from basketball critique to personal attack. One of them even called Caitlin Clark a glorified role player. And where was Kelsey Mitchell in all of this? Silent. That silence echoed louder than any word she could have spoken. Because now people were asking the real question. If Kelsey Mitchell felt comfortable enough to post something so bold, what was being said behind closed doors? Was this just Kelsey's opinion? Was she giving voice to frustrations that had been bubbling under the surface within the Mitchell household and possibly within the Fever locker room? Fans noticed. Comment sections blew up. Analysts weighed in, and the verdict was brutal. This wasn't just a petty sibling defending her sister.
Thing and fun to watch, and they're only on the rise. I think people are finally starting to realize how great of a product that can be.
This was a coordinated attempt to downplay the impact of Caitlin Clark, the very player who had turned the Indiana Fever from bottom feeders into playoff contenders. And the numbers. They told a story no Facebook post could deny. Before Clark arrived, Indiana was lucky to win 5 to 8 games a year. Kelsey Mitchell had been there for 7 seasons, no playoff runs. No real media buzz. The Fever were invisible. But the moment Caitlin Clark put on that jersey, everything changed. Sellouts, ratings, merchandise flying off the shelves. Suddenly, the Fever mattered. Yet here was Kelsey's circle, acting as if Caitlin was holding them back. As if the woman averaging double-doubles and setting rookie records was some kind of hindrance to team chemistry. Fans weren't buying it, and the ones who used to cheer for Mitchell
Utilize this energy for as much as we can possibly use it, and be happy that the women's basketball and the game, where it's going, is pretty.
Many of them flipped. Some said it outright. We didn't even know who Kelsey was until Caitlin showed up. And let's not forget what Caitlin was enduring on the court. She was elbowed, tripped, knocked to the ground. Game after game, targeted by defenders who knew that if you could rattle the star, you could rattle the team. And while all of this was happening, where was the support from her teammates? Where was the pushback, the protection? Nowhere. It was silence. It's just like the silence surrounding Kelsey Mitchell's comment. Suddenly, those moments where nobody helped her up, where no teammate stepped in, they looked less like oversights and more like symptoms of a deeper fracture. A fracture that may have started in private but was now playing out for the world to see. But Clark didn't retaliate. She didn't clap back on social media. She didn't take shots in interviews. Instead, she did what elite athletes do. She answered with her game. After Chelsea's comments went viral, Clark dropped 29 points, 13 assists, and 5 rebounds.
I'm playing alongside this kid, so it makes everything, a little bit more dramatic, and like the people are coming out to see this person. So we just do what we can. We embrace it.
That wasn't coincidence. That was a message, a statement, a response without words. And while Caitlin soared, Kelsey started to crack. Her interviews became shorter. Her body language on the court grew tense. Her stat lines dipped. Her leadership presence dimmed. The locker room felt off. The chemistry evaporated. Kelsey, now on a 1-year contract, looked more and more like a player, preparing for the end of her Indiana chapter. And fans saw it coming. Some even believed she almost didn't return in the offseason, that her free agency nearly took her elsewhere. In hindsight, maybe it should have, because how do you come back from this? How do you win back a fan base when your own family has gone scorched earth on the franchise's savior? How do you repair trust when you let bitterness poison the well? Kelsey's silence about the controversy only amplified the noise.
Be shown when they're given an opportunity to play on national television, or play in big stadiums where people can buy tickets and get in a seat. And I think
if she had stood up and said, "That's not how I feel," maybe the damage could have been contained. But she didn't, and the speculation only grew. Was she bitter about the spotlight shifting, about the narrative changing? Or was she simply too afraid to stand up to her own circle? Either way, it became clear this wasn't just a locker room issue anymore. It was a cultural divide. The old guard versus the new. It players who had been grinding for years with little attention, now forced to charade, often lose the spotlight to a rookie who had done more in half a season than many had in their careers. And that jealousy, it wasn't just whispering anymore. It was screaming. The Mitchell family thought they were defending their own, but in doing so, they exposed exactly what the world already suspected. To control, because Caitlin Clark didn't just arrive to play.
people come and watch one time, like they can't get enough of it, and they continue to come back. And to be a small part of that is super fun. Like, obviously, we get to play.
She arrived to win, and she arrived to lead. The fan base saw it. The media saw it. The world saw it. And the only people who couldn't accept it were the ones too blinded by resentment to see that they weren't being replaced, they were being elevated. They just didn't want to share the ride, and now the damage is done. The divide is real. The curtain has been pulled back, and the Mitchell name, once respected, now lingers in the shadow of what could have been a historic season of unity, had it not been derailed by envy. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark continues doing what she always does, pushing forward, putting up numbers, winning games, taking hits, rising again. And as the dust settles, only one thing remains undeniable.
That's a good thing for women's basketball. I'm playing alongside this kid, so it makes everything, a little bit more.
This is Caitlin Clark's team, and the ones who doubted her. They're watching her lead from the sidelines. Realizing too late that you don't need to tear someone down to shine, drop a 100% in the comments and let the world know where the real loyalty lies. This isn't just basketball anymore. This is legacy. Caitlin Clark is just getting started.